like you lost another one.
Man, oh man, night one of WrestleMania has just officially wrapped up, and you are here with us for our recap show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Cyber Yeti, Mr. Here for the Petty, and over here to the other side of me is DJ Notorious. We're back for a special two-night recap show. A little bit of a break, have to take care of some medical stuff, but we will be back with a new season here soon, but it's WrestleMania time. We had to make some time for the biggest night of the year for wrestling currently. So we had to go ahead and do that. So, DJ,
it's been a long time. It's been a
very long time, sir. So,
yes, what a night one. We're going to get into all of it, the beginning, the middle, the end, the ups, the downs, the shocking moments of night one, and get you prepared for night two tomorrow night, because that's going to be a banger as well. And even a injury replacement of sorts on night one tonight. We're going to talk about that as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. For everybody that's been watching us since the beginning, thank you. We are back. There was some medical issues. That's why you didn't see us on for a while, but you know, for the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania, we had to be back. It's the Yankee and the Astro back together again.
I know, right? People were probably like, damn, where they been? And all I got to say is don't call it a comeback.
We've been here for years.
We've been
literally
here for years. But really quick, before we get into it, we got to give a shout out to still one of our main sponsors, OT Subs. Make sure you go visit them at otsubs.com. Use our discount code for 10% off your order, Revival Army. Pick yourself up a shaker, some good flavors. Tell them that the Wrestling Revival sent you, and you know they'll take care of you. So, DJ, we have got to get into this night one card. Now, I will admit, I will be the first one to admit, some of the matches were not as good as I was hoping they were going to be.
Yes, I will agree.
But I will say this: the main event did save night one and not make it a total loss.
I agree with you again. It was going to
be like a 6 or a 7 for me. I'm registering it at about an 8 now because of the main event. But we'll get to that here in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and hit up the comments here really quick. Of course, we've got Mr. Aaron King, the main event. Big carry job. We will definitely get into that here a little bit later. And then, of course, Mr. Hairline himself, Mr. making a 5-head look like something that's normal.
No, they talked about that during the show tonight. There was a 4-head that turned into a 5-head. Just saying. We'll talk about that.
Just saying. But KB, appreciate the welcome back. Like I said, don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years. We will continue to be here. So let's go ahead and jump into it really quick.
Yes,
I did watch a little bit of the pre-show, and we did see a couple of things happen there that we were not expecting.
Yes,
one of the biggest things was the announcement of the acquisition of AAA Wrestling by TKO.
Very big move for WWE.
Very huge move for WWE. And the thing is, we also got the announcement of Worlds Collide, AAA versus WWE versus NXT. This acquisition just made this a must watch for any wrestling fan. especially if you have watched AAA, especially if you have grown up watching Lucha Libre like myself personally. That's one of the first things I watched because of members of my family. So seeing a big organization from Mexico get pretty much pulled into the fold of TKO brand and now working alongside with WWE, I can definitely see this being a huge thing for them. So congratulations to TKO. You have done your thing. Next, this is the last thing I'm going to cover about the pre-show. As you know, Friday night, Rey Mysterio actually got hurt in his match. He had to be helped back to the back. During the pre-show, they actually got a status update from Rey about his injury. He was not cleared to compete, but there was still going to be a Rey in the match. I am talking about the WrestleMania debut of Rey Fenix.
Yes.
Now, I can tell you this, I was 100% hype about this. I was like, yes, both Lucha Brothers are going to debut on WrestleMania, not even 6 months into the company debut on the biggest stage of them all in wrestling currently. And that's WrestleMania. So huge props to that. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the card here.
Yes.
First match, of course. Jey Uso versus Gunther.
It was the world heavyweight title on the line, the world championship, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing here. It's a secondary world title on the damn roster.
But it's still a world title.
It's still a world title. But remember, this is set at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Raiders, and Jey Uso literally took that into his entrance tonight because his entrance started and you had about 6 or 7 flags come out looking like the Las Vegas Raiders, but had a big yeet on it. And that's when the party got started, just a little after 7 Eastern. Jay's entrance, bigger than life, because hell, it's WrestleMania. This is what they do. Coming out from the crowd, he had his whole custom outfit, and everybody, 61,000, were yeeting to start the show. Even some people in some other areas of the country as well were yeeting, all for the challenger going into against Gunther, who's been holding the title since, I believe, SummerSlam of 2024. Run roughshod against everybody, honestly. And now we had the match. Now, gonna be honest with you, I was a little disappointed in this match. Jay looked like he really wanted this match, and somebody else wanted 1, 2, 3 Cancun.
Yep, no joke. 1, 2, 3 Cancun, and he was ready for his break. I think his wife was already waiting in the back in the car with the bags packed. Just get in here in your ring gear and let's go.
And they was waiting to go to the airport. If you know, you know. Match had its spots, did not have many, super kicks like I thought it would be, which was great. And actually some pretty big moves, big body slams there from Jay going against Gunther. A lazy power bomb by Gunther there. It's very unlike him. But in the end, we do have a new world champion, and that is Jey Uso by tap out. Yeah, you heard right. He tapped out Gunther, y'all. He actually did that, and now is the champion.
Okay, getting to Aaron King's comment here. It wasn't great. I wouldn't call it horrid because I would call horrid the stunner that Vince McMahon took in the last WrestleMania he was in. That was horrid. This, I don't think it was just fully planned out. They knew what the end goal was. It just wasn't planned out well enough. Again, this is the first WrestleMania that Paul Levesque 100% had control of what he wanted to do. And we've seen it. If you've watched NXT, if you've done any of that, at the very beginning, there was some hits, but also there were some misses too. Yes. So I would say this was a miss for Paul Levesque, and I think he realizes that. But the finish of him choking out Gunther, I feel like it should have went a little bit longer make it look like he was actually trying to struggle out of it.
Yeah. That's what getting people. Yeah.
And because you've got to remember, for Jey Uso turned like into a different person when he did that to Jimmy Uso, and he was zip tied to the ring to the ropes.
To the ropes, right?
So this was like an ultimate payback for Jey Uso. They just should have made it last longer, and they should have had Gunther struggle more. But like DJ over here said, he was ready for that 1-2-3 Cancun.
Literally.
He was ready to go take a break because realistically, Gunther has been a carrier of the company since he got onto the main roster and Triple H took over.
Literally. He's ran through everybody. You name them, he's
Exactly.
run through them. His whole title reign, albeit a little on the low side because he's ran through everybody already.
Yes.
But it just seems like this was kind of an anticlimactic end to this match, where if he would have struggled a little bit, maybe did the 3-hand raise, that would have brought more to it. But Lily was put in the choke. No more than 5 seconds later, he was tapping. So in that regard, it just seems like it was a little anticlimactic, like I said. But nonetheless, we got what we wanted. Everybody knew this was going to happen. Even Stevie Wonder saw it coming. Jey Uso is now your new world champion. So congratulations to him. Big deal. Now let's see what he does with the belt now that he has it. That is the key. Let's see if there's more substance to him than just his entrance. He is good on the mic as well, but let's see what matches come about. So we'll see about that.
Most definitely. And then we have Aaron here again. It's time for Gunther to take some time off. He's more than earned it. Yes, exactly. He's definitely earned the time off. He needs to go to Cancun, enjoy the time with his wife and kid, and just leave everything at headquarters for right now.
Leave. A good month off will do him some justice. A good month off.
Exactly. So, all right, DJ. So, what was the next match for us for the night?
Unfortunately, the bathroom break came early. It was the second match of the night. And quite honestly, I'm not even going to BS you. This was probably the worst match of the night. And yes, it was the second match of the night. Right after the first one, you had the Raw tag team titles on the line. You had the champions, the War Raiders, going up against the New Day. Now, I know they're called the New Day, but it's the New Day because there's no Big E involved. So you had them going against it. Michael Cole and them are some shady characters because during the entrance for the New Day, they did mention their outfit. It was an ode to WrestleMania 9 and Giant Gonzalez. But also with that, you did have their record being talked about at WrestleMania.
And it's sad.
Kofi Kingston, I believe, was 3-13 before the match. My God, it is just going to be one of those matches. And I think they dropped the ball on a lot of things here. You are at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders. How come the War Raiders didn't come out in some Raiders jerseys? They are the face here and the champions.
I think the big reason why we didn't see that is because it was a sponsored match.
Yes, and sponsored by some damn Clash of the Clans.
Clash of Clans, yes.
The only clan I like is the Wu-Tang Clan, okay? That's the only clan I like. Okay, yes, respect the Wu. But Clash of the Clan, come on now. Y'all can stop this now. That was ridiculous. A wasted opportunity there just to get extra check from TKO and Endeavor, but we know how they work. They're kind of cheap. But anyway, this match was literally, it could have been on a pre-show, to be honest with you. You could have put that ladder match that they're saving for the SmackDown after Mania. You could have put it in this spot here. It was a bathroom break. Go get your drinks. Go get your snacks. And then
souvenir.
And eventually you come back and you see that we have new World Tag Team Champions. The New Day did win the match with a kind of a shitty ending, holding on to the leg there to get the 3 count. Worst match of the night.
A part of me hopes that the first Raw after Mania just have them lose in 3 seconds.
No, it's got to be at least 6 seconds. You got to do the Raw.
Oh, yeah, that is true. It has to be 6 seconds, so at least it ties with Kofi losing to Brock Lesnar. I get you.
Exactly.
I get you.
Exactly.
All right, so next match. What was the match after that?
That match was literally belt to ass. This one has been months in the making, and it finally happened. We had Jade Cargill going up against Naomi. Now, I know I'm going to make some people mad. I'm sorry, but this is what I do. I do it for a living. And Cyber will agree. 2 good wrestlers in the ring. One had a great outfit. One had one from Hot Topic. Can you guess who had the Hot Topic attire? It was Naomi. Clearly, somebody didn't put no effort into their attire coming to the ring because it just looked slapped together. While Jade had a whole Weather Channel entrance.
Dude, that was over the top. But really quick before we move on and continue talking about that, Bananas Epic Gaming, this would be like insult to injury right here. They debut on Raw and they challenge them and they win.
That would be classic move by WWE, and I'm here for it.
I would be here for it too. Now, let me just say something really quick. Again, some people will not like me for saying this, but you know what? I really don't give a shit.
You know what? How about this? Just simply do.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Push the button.
TK fucked up. And I'm not talking about a little bit. I'm talking about a lot.
And when you say TK, we do mean Tony Khan, you know, owner over there at AEW. For y'all that are watching and not really big on professional wrestling, Jade Cargill used to be an active employee of AEW All Elite Wrestling. She has left, it seems like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, give or take. And she's now having a WrestleMania moment. And just like by a snap of the fingers, she looks 10 times better in the ring.
And if you were really paying attention to the match, you could tell Jade Cargill was actually calling the spots for the match. Not Naomi. Naomi is one that has been with the company for a while, and she should have that leadership experience to make those kinds of calls.
Yep.
Why was Jade Cargill making those calls? Because you know why? Because she was sharpened and fine-tuned during her time out. She was in NXT at the Performance Center, improving her skill, improving her abilities, and you could see it since the day she stepped back into the ring after the so-called attack.
Yes, which this was a long time coming. This is one of probably the better storylines WWE had going into the end of 2024 into 2025. Then the belt to ass moment at Elimination Chamber, where literally it's like when you see a person wearing black Air Force Ones, you just go to the other side. That's what Jade Cargill did to Naomi leading up now to this match here. But what if I was to tell you 2 of the biggest spots of the night came from Jade Cargill in this match?
Ooh.
2 of them. We had a running jackhammer.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had one of the best power bombs I've seen from any female in the past 2 years by Jade Cargill.
What the fuck?
And it wasn't a normal power bomb. No. This was a transitioning power bomb where Naomi went from being backwards on Jade's back, sitting on her shoulders. She literally came around and midair caught her and power bombed her onto the floor. That isn't something you pick up in 1 or 2 training sessions.
That something she's probably been working on.
Worked on.
Yes.
And the one person I could think of that helped her come up with that, Mr. Albert over in the NXT Performance Center.
That's right, Mr. Prince Albert. Seems like the training over there at the Performance Center is helping out a lot of people, especially Jade Cargill. She really looked good during that match. Now, shouts to KB Brown down there saying the Tony fumble chants are going to get louder when Mariah May shows up. Just saying. Yes, that is the rumor going around that Mariah may be jumping ship over to WWE. Only time will tell. I don't think Tony wants to fumble like that, but if he does, that will be a major blow to that women's division.
Well, we're already looking at Malachi Black making his debut. That's coming up Friday.
Yeah, that is coming too. We saw that 425-25. But honestly, after this third match here, of course, Jade did get the victory here. This was now starting to turn back into a good WrestleMania card because that clunker of a second match now was brought up by the third one here. Jade literally took off her belt and beat Naomi's ass around the ring for about a good 15 minutes. But good match by both.
I'm talking about like your grandma or grandpa tracing you around with a belt and beating your ass and you running in away crying. Yeah, I'm talking about that kind of beatdown. Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. Now, before we get to the next one here, let's let everybody know how you can actually follow the Wrestling Revival podcast. You can literally follow us on all social media. Of course, on Instagram, it is the Wrestling Revival podcast. On TikTok, yes, we're on TikTok, TWRP_official_. And Elon Musk, get your shit together. We are at TWRP_official. We still got to have a conversation with him. Maybe, if he could fit us into his meetings, after, fixing things in, Washington, then he can come and talk to us about that X account. Because, yeah, we got to talk. Elon.
It's some bullshit, but, it is what it is.
Yes. So, getting to the next match now, it was the United States Championship match. We did have LA Knight, versus one of the craziest members of that bloodline. We're talking about Jacob Fatu, that wolf himself. And it was one of the first times we saw a big entrance of the night. LA Knight did come out in the all-white Maserati. I guess he was feeling godly tonight, coming up in there into Allegiant Stadium. And then Jacob Fatu just came out with Solo cheering him on. And this was a pretty good match. Now, I will say this. This is the LA Knight we need to see on regular WWE television every week. Because he turned it up a notch, and this is how he should be every week. Because otherwise, he is mid on mid on mid. Sort of like the Detroit Pistons today against my New York Knicks. Very mid.
Oh, God.
Very mid. Very mid.
Had to bring that up.
Yes.
Damn.
I don't care. Cade Cunningham.
Get him. Oh, Green Jimmy the Cricket.
Don't matter, Knicks in 5. Anyway, that's how he is. But Jacob Fatu really seemed like he was in control of this match for most of it, except for certain spots where LA Knight had a little counter. But in the end, it took not one, not two, but 3 moonsaults off the top rope to solidify and get Jacob Fatu his first singles title in WWE. He is the new United States champion. Congratulations to him. Haku came out at ringside to congratulate him on the victory. This bloodline, man, they got like 200 cousins and brothers and sisters, and
that's not even talking about the ones that are coming up in the independents right now that are looking at being brought into the WWE after Mania.
We still got Hikaleo waiting. We still got Zilla back there. We got Pookie, Nuck, Ray, Tayshawn. Like, it's too many of them, man. It is way too many. It took Baby's kids a little bit too. The Tongas, it's just way too many, man. Way too many. But congratulations to Jacob Fatu. He did get his belt. Now let's see what he does with the championship gold in his next program there on SmackDown. I think it should be pretty good, though. Now, Cyber, what was the next match on the card after that?
All right, so now we're getting to the match that was a last-minute substitution. We are referring to El Generico Americano, a.k.a. Chad Gable, a.k.a. he has to put a mask on in order to actually get put onto a WrestleMania card. He's still doing his dumb shit that he was doing that he does with his group, and then we're looking at Rey Fenix. Now, guys, I was a little disappointed with this match, but also too, this substitution was made literally earlier today.
Literally
after Rey saw the doctors. So I think the mindset of the people in the back was to keep the outcome the same way it was going to be with Rey Mysterio.
Right.
And that's the reason why El Generico, or whoever the hell he wants to go by, or Chad Gable, or what the fuck. They kept the original ending. If they would have had more time, I think they would have changed it and Rey Fenix would have won that match.
Yeah, if there was a little bit more time in between this, like Cyber just said, this was literally a few hours before they went live there in Allegiant Stadium. So everything was kept the same. Rey Fenix did take the loss in it. And it's El Americano, Grande Americano. That's his name over there.
Oh, you mean the one that that originates from the Gulf of Mexico. Gulf of Mexico, WWE had to backpedal on that shit real quick.
Yes, they did. They definitely had to do that. They didn't want to get into that type of furor online, but it was an okay match. That's where you had the 4-head turns into the 5-head. I ain't know KB was down there, but anyway, another story for another day. Turned out he got the victory using a headbutt because he had a steel plate in there, knocked out Rey Fenix, got the victory after a top rope frog splash. But the funny thing after this matchup was who came in to help Rey Fenix out of the ring. That was Vikingno. Okay, now people who have watched, the Independents, the HOGs, the other company that we're not going to mention because it's WrestleMania's weekend. He was on there, but actually did more work in this match than he's done anywhere else in the past year.
Oh, yeah. Just before even the match started, he went over to Vikingo and started talking shit, pushed him from a standing position, not even looking like he's going to do anything. Turns around and Pele kicks him in the head.
I mean, it was a Pele kick so good, you thought he was going to go into the Champions League after that. That was a perfect kick just from regular stance, no jump, no run into it, just simply kicked him right in the head. That was a good start to the match there. Now, shout outs to Bananas Epic Gaming. That isn't Chad Gable. Chad was on the phone with me during that segment. Well, there must be 2 Chad Gables walking around there. But nonetheless, that just shows you Chad Gable can't get on the card unless he wears a mask.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got Mr. Fivehead himself over here.
That name sounds like something you get from Starbucks. Yeah. 4-head, 5-head, extra mocha, whatever you want to call it. Venti. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. But this was a good match. Good call, getting Rey Fenix to be put into this match on short notice. This goes on in a lot of different companies, such as UFC, where they have injuries. Somebody has to go in real quickly. So good for them. But I will have this public service announcement. So, Cyber, you might as well just hit it right now. Just go on and hit it. You know what I'm talking about, because I gotta say this. Yes, the views and viewpoints being spoken to me are not necessarily viewpoints of Cyber or the Wrestling Revival podcast. Viewer discretion is advised. Now, listen here, WWE. Let this be the only lesson you learn. Stop having SmackDowns before Mania, risking injury to your WrestleMania participants. This could have bit you in the ass even worse than what it did. It just so happened you had Rey Fenix there, and it fit into the storyline. What if Rey Fenix wasn't signed? What were you going to do then? How was you going to put this on in probably, 4 or 5 hours notice? Because we could tell by the entrance of Rey Fenix, you were not prepared for him. He didn't get all the glitz and glamour like everybody else did. So, WWE, get your shit together and stop having SmackDowns before Mania. Because the only way you're going to learn, if a big major person is injured and then you got to scramble around and make a replacement. Thank you.
Or, for example, the way people were literally falling asleep during the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Oh, I don't know about that because I was actually watching my eyelids because I was asleep.
I was too, but it's called X and Instagram. It's all in 4K. It was all caught in 4K.
So basically what you're saying is that anybody that was watching the Hall of Fame ceremony, everybody there in attendance, they needed a Celsius energy drink to keep them awake. That's what they all needed.
They needed a Celsius, they needed a Monster, and then on top of that, they probably needed a 2. Wow. So
well, if it was back in the 80s in wrestling, they probably would have had that too. Just saying. They probably
probably.
Yes. So we're moving along now with WrestleMania. Everything seems to be going okay. We then had Shawn Michaels come out and give the official announcement of the attendance, which was over 61,000, all inside the Raiders' home of Allegiant Stadium. Probably going to get the same number or close to it for night 2 tomorrow. And then they'll make the big grand number of saying 125,000 for a 2-day event. Yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
Then, of course, what was the next match, Cyber, on the card for the night?
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, the next match after that was the Women's Championship match, which was Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. Of course, the second I saw Tiffany Stratton's entrance, I was like, she's winning. Because here's the thing, Mattel actually worked with her to do her entrance with the Barbie theme.
Yes, that was. I'll say this right now.
It was
We'll get to the
good.
main event. That was the best entrance of the night. That was the best. And I know what certain fan base is going to say. No, this one was better. No. We know. Mattel worked on this entrance with Tiffany Stratton. 3 big Barbie, packaging, but the one in the middle was actually Tiffany Stratton. If you looked at it, you couldn't tell the difference. You literally could not tell. And that was a good move by Mattel. Mattel's been in it, with the whole Barbie thing, with LeBron James having his own Barbie now. And now they're working with Tiffany Stratton. Could a WWE deal be in effect pretty soon? Do you think?
I definitely see it as a possibility.
Tiffany
Definitely
Stratton. Yeah, I could see that. That will sell. TKO likes making money, so there's another one there.
Yep, exactly. And Charlotte Flair was literally getting booed out of that arena the second that her music hit.
Yes, she was. This was not. If you've been following Charlotte for her whole career, which seems well over a decade, this was the first time in a while she was booed out of a WrestleMania. Clearly, You could hear the boos there. Yeah, she did get a nice little entrance, had a little car entrance and all that stuff, but yeah, she was definitely booed. And in this match, I can tell you right now, Tiffany was carrying Charlotte. And that's to the surprise of many, because usually with her being the veteran, being Charlotte, you would think it'll be the other way around, but it clearly was not. Now, shouts to KB there real quick. He's saying a Bianca Barbie would sell also. Yes, it definitely would. But with the whole Barbie theme, she's the closest thing going to Barbie right now.
And then Bananas Epic Gaming here. I can't believe I'm going to say this.
But
there's the but. Come on.
Yeah, we're waiting for the second part there, Bananas. But
yeah, but here's the thing too. I noticed this.
But Tiffany tonight, before she broke her teeth, I am starting to find her more attractive. You know what, sir?
She actually did. From one of the kicks that she took to the face.
Yeah, no, she did. She definitely has a chipped tooth there. I think there'll probably be some B words sprint around back there, because I don't think that was part of the script. So Charlotte will definitely hear those B words back there. But yeah.
Yes. I will say this too, exactly like I said for the Jade Cargill Naomi match. If you were watching closely, Tiffany Stratton was also calling spots also.
Yes.
In the match. So like I said about Charlotte Flair, she is still very much a company person, regardless of her own personal feelings. Like, obviously the chip tooth situation, yes, that was probably intentional.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, she did what was necessary that the company asked for her to do.
And that was to put over the bigger, more expensive, more popular, whatever you want to say, talent, which is Tiffany Stratton at this time. Now, if you guys remember back a couple of months back during this, I said that she was going to get gold before the end of the year. Now, it was a couple of days off because she did get it in the beginning of January on the first SmackDown, but she's literally been carrying that belt and been doing a great job with it.
Mm-hmm.
I hope nothing more for her. And I will say this right now, it might be a hot take for some of you wrestling fans out there. The one that Charlotte has to worry about breaking her world title record is the woman she fought in the ring tonight, Tiffany Stratton.
Yes.
I can see that happening easily.
And Bananas Epic Gaming. So it's safe to say the torch has been passed to Charlotte from NXT 2.0. I would say she's more toward the end of NXT 2.0, and she's more towards the transitioning to CW.
Yes.
Generation. Because she started popping up toward the end of 2.0, and then it started transitioning when she was there.
Right.
So I would say she's more of an NXT transition. It wasn't a 2.0, because 2.0 to me was god awful.
It was a Crayola box.
Yeah, literally Crayola box. It looked like something that someone finger painted in kindergarten.
Literally, it was like, hey, this is a wrestling program for 2 hours. Boom. On Tuesday nights. That's what it was.
Exactly.
But no. Tiffany, she has a lot going on. I want to see what her next program is going to be going into Backlash, which is literally in about 3 weeks, I believe. March 10th, I think, in St. Louis. But I like what they're going with her. They're really making her to be this big champion and giving her the big challenges. She done took on Charlotte, so let's see who her next opponent should be. I'm looking forward to that.
I would probably say this is personally me hoping. I know we're kind of slating this person to go against Valkyria for the women's intercontinental title. But I would like to see another 4-horsewoman go against her in the form of Bailey, just because of, well, no, actually, it can't be Bailey because Bailey's on Raw and
Right.
she's
It
on
can't be.
SmackDown. So it would have to be someone from the SmackDown brand. So actually, I wouldn't be against this one. Roxanne being her
That could
summer
be a
program.
program going into SummerSlam, which of course is in my neck of the woods this
Here
year,
we go.
August
This
2nd and
motherfucker.
3rd.
God damn it.
I'm sorry, everything can't be in Houston because Astros lose. You know, we're not going to start this now, sir. We're not going to start. We're just coming back
Sir,
for people.
this is just a 2-night special, so you need to
Okay,
calm
let's not
down over
start.
there, sir.
Let's not start, sir. Come on now.
No, we ain't
This is
starting
really
right
that
now.
bad. Okay, we're not going to do this. We'll wait till August. Okay, all right.
Yes, we'll wait till August.
When your season's already done. But anyway,
Motherfucker.
so then, of course, after this match here, we did have, of course, we all know if you've been watching WrestleMania, you know this 20-minute package is going to come up talking about the Hall of Fame. As we were talking about earlier, the Hall of Fame came on 10 p.m. East, or 10 p.m. Pacific time last night, which is 1 a.m. in New York City. Triple H had an hour and 7-minute speech. I feel like going to sleep after just saying that. That's how long it was. But everybody was mentioned. Everybody got their little, due to the crowd. And then we were on to the main event of the night. And this is what has everybody talking going into the end of it right now. And that is the triple threat match between CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth freaking Rollins. Now, Cyber, what did you think about that entrance there? Because we had 3 different entrances. Which one did you think was the best?
The one that I think was the best, I will have to say, and I hate to say this, it was CM Punk.
Of
CM
course.
Punk was the best one because he had, of course, he had
In living color.
In living color singing his intro.
Yes.
And, as soon as you see that, that was probably the most extensive one besides Tiffany Stratton of the night.
Yeah, you could tell that's the one that probably cost the most besides the Mattel version there with Tiffany Stratton. It was good seeing in living color there. Of course, that's his main entrance. A lot of people know that song just because of CM Punk, so it was good to see that. Seth Rollins had kind of a double entrance. He came out in all black with the flamethrower and then immediately turned into the white, being godly for his entrance to the ring. And then Roman Reigns decided, you know what? I'm going to go with some Jordans. And he had some custom-made Jordan 11 Concords boots for his match for the night. So everybody was dripped in a certain way, but then the match went a whole different way. It looked like CM Punk was going to get help from the wise man, Paul Heyman. Well, he got knocked out by Paul Heyman. And it looked like Roman and Paul Heyman was going to be reunited, and it felt so good. Until Seth had the biggest swerve, because just when Roman Reigns was going to get his revenge for that shot that he took when Seth turned on the Shield, Paul Heyman went downstairs, and I don't mean downstairs to the basement. He went low and took out Roman Reigns, handed the chair to Seth Rollins, and then we all knew what was happening after that. Seth Rollins always had the wise man on his side, got the last curb stomp, and your winner of the triple threat match was Seth freaking Rollins. So, with that match, do you think we're going to get a rematch of sorts at Backlash? Or do you think they're going to try to save it for SummerSlam, which is their next major pay-per-view?
I think what is going to happen is it's going to actually spread among the next couple pay-per-views. It's going to be Backlash, and then it's going to climax at SummerSlam. I think first Seth and CM Punk are going to go at it first. And then, of course, if they keep going this direction, they're wanting to go with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, he'll probably win that one. And then going into SummerSlam, it's going to be Roman and Seth. And it's going to be a very nasty match for them.
Yeah, I could see that being some form of a specialty match, maybe Bloodline Rules or something to that effect would have to be the climax there. Even a steel cage match, who knows? Maybe even Hell in the Cell. You never know. But it has to be some form of a specialty match to end that at SummerSlam, which of course is August 2nd and 3rd here in MetLife Stadium, home of the Jets and the Giants.
2 nights.
Yes, 2 nights special for SummerSlam. Good God. Bananas Gaming here, Bananas Epic Gaming saying, I have a feeling that this isn't the last we have seen of Rollins this weekend. If you know, you know. Could be. There are some
Definitely
matches
possible
that he might show up in, so we could see that. KB also saying, with Paul Heyman by his side, Seth will take the world title off of Jey Uso by the summer.
Here's the thing. I don't 100% disagree with you, but I honestly think they're going to give Jey Uso a chance to prove what kind of champion he's going to be. Yes. Now, if it falls flat, definitely, I could see that being a possibility. If he actually has momentum behind him, like if more momentum builds behind him, like he defends the title and, he wins and he does it in a more dominant fashion than he's has in the past, then yes, he will hang on to it. He might face Seth Rollins, but then he might lose due to, technicality or anything. And I could see that happening. And, Jey Uso still hanging on to the title. But other than that, we're going to have to wait and see how the next couple weeks go with Jey Uso before we say if it's going to be a short title reign or if it's going to be a long one.
Let's give him at least one pay-per-view, which will be Backlash. Let's see what they do there, because you really can't count, the Raw and SmackDown after Mania, because those are the wildest ones, and it's just like whatever happens. But that following week is when they start setting up for Backlash, and then you'll really see what's going on with that.
Oh.
But one actually says that Seth could align with the final boss.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a possibility too. Bananas Epic Gaming, Jey Uso is getting the post NFL run that Priest got last year. That could definitely be a possibility also. And it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Could be.
KB, you could have Punk or Roman cost Seth the world title. That too. Either one of them. I could tell you this. The rivalry between those three that were in the main event tonight is not going away anytime soon.
It is deep. It is definitely deep. Bingo, Aaron. Rock did file for a team corporation. Yes, he did, but I would think personally be against that, because why would you then align yourself with the wise man if you're then going to go to the final boss? It kind of defeats the purpose of what actually happened tonight. And that's something that Seth has always wanted to do, be around with the wise man, and now he gets his chance. So let's see how this works, guys. Let's not jump 6 months from now. Let's just enjoy what we got right here in front of us. But honestly, my rating for night 1, because that was all the matches for tonight, we'll call Scout night 2 tomorrow. We're going to talk about that matchup and card in just a second. But tonight, even with the main event, I still got to give this a 7.5 out of 10. There were some lowlights. The world title match, a world tag title match was a drop. And even the Ray Fenix and, Chad Gable, that was kind of a drop as well. And it just didn't seem like it formatted. It was like one good match, one slow match. One good match. It was kind of like a roller coaster of sorts. I don't like the Cyclone, and I don't like to be watching the Cyclone, because that's what night 1 felt like. But it did pick it up with the main event, but I still got to give it a 7.5. I can't give it an 8 out of 10.
I really would like to give it an 8 just because of the main event. But also, too, we kind of predicted how the main event was going to kind of fall in general. The only thing we didn't get right was interference coming in for the sake of Roman. which we were thinking either Hikuleo or even, possibly a Shield reunion, which technically that person isn't even under contract right now. They're kind of working per event,
per diem,
pretty much. So, I mean, we were, but for the most part, we were on point. We only missed 2 matches for the night, which is still pretty good. Bananas Epic Gaming, he says, I hate to say this, but Cody was right. Now Roman is all alone. He has nothing to lose now. And to be honest, this is going to be a new character that's going to be coming out of this because he has lost everything.
He's lost everyone, but that's why I said I don't think he's going to be alone for much longer. I don't think it's going to be like that. C-, that's kind of a low grade for that. I think I'm more of the 7.5, so I would think a C+. If anything with this, it just had too many times during the night where you just felt like it was at its low point. Myself and Cyber were watching live while we were, getting ready to give you all the 2-night special. There were quite a few times we were both on our phones. There was quite a few times. And that shouldn't be like that, even for night 1 or night 2 of any type of WrestleMania at all. But it was a good show. It had its moments. Hopefully night 2 will be better, which is tomorrow night.
Yes, night two, based on the card alone, is looking like it's going to be a better night. We do have some substitutions that are going to be happening with this match. Of course, obviously, earlier today, on the pre-show, it did actually say that Bayley was jumped in the back, and Valkyria now has 24 hours to find a replacement to be in the match with her for the women's tag team titles. Now it's a question of who's going to step up and be there with her.
I don't know, because remember, this is technically a Raw match here, because Valkyrie is literally on Raw, so you would think she'll get a Raw opponent or a tag team partner. So choices could be up there. We don't know.
Also too, you got to remember the women's tag team titles are across all 3 brands now, since the NXT women's tag titles are no longer in existence. Right. They were combined with the other with the main titles. So she can pick someone from either Raw, SmackDown, or NXT to be her replacement.
And since you said NXT, there's one person in particular that I'm thinking it would be. I think some of our fans watching right now might get a little happy with it, but I think this is the perfect opportunity to bring Roxanne back into it. This is the perfect time to bring Roxanne Perez back into this. She was on the roster for a hot second. Of course, she had her Elimination Chamber match. She was involved in that match. Bring her back, and she goes back up to the main roster. Why not? She's done everything at NXT she could possibly do.
Exactly. And we have a couple of theories here in the chat as well. She needs a big time replacement. Could we see Becky Lynch as her replacement?
I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. I think because if it is going to be Becky Lynch, that would be overshadowing Valkyria. That really would overshadow her. I think it needs to be somebody both on the same wavelength. This match doesn't need a big time person in it. Honestly, it could be as small as Selena Vega. It really doesn't have to be that big here. It really doesn't. The reason why I said Roxanne is because obviously I think they're going to lose this match, and then you can start a program between the two.
Yeah, because if you watch Stand and Deliver today, you know that Gigi Doblin and Tatum Paxley won the Fatal 4-Way to challenge the winners of the women's tag team title match. And that's going to be happening pretty quick. So if Valkyria and Bayley were slated to win, then that means all the plans they had for that match tomorrow are up in the air.
It will literally change. So that's why I'm going with Roxanne, but we are going to be surprised tomorrow with that. We're also going to be surprised with who's going to answer Randy Orton's challenge, his open challenge. Me and Cyber have two names that we are thinking. I'm going to say mine, and Cyber will say his. If you look at the date tomorrow, it's 420. I don't mean for Nate Dogg and smoking weed every day. I don't mean it for Easter Sunday either. But that is known as Rusev Day. Lana did re-sign back with WWE as well. So that is the perfect opportunity to bring them back for the open challenge. Because he's damn sure not Malachi Black. We already got the date for that. So I got Rusev. Cyber, who do you have?
Trying to remember, who did I tell you?
I think he's Long Island's own. I think it was.
Oh, yeah. There's a rumor currently going around. If you watched Chelsea Green's podcast interview that she did this week with Chris Van Fleet, they're talking about Matt Cardona could be making his return at any point right now. All they're waiting for is that phone call to come through. That is all he's waiting for. And the way that she sounded, it sounds like that phone call may have already happened or it is happening.
Literally.
So that's why I'm saying we might see Matt Cardona. But also you got to remember, we've been saying that since last WrestleMania that we might see him. So take it with a grain of salt. But that's what, if it's not Rusev, it has to be Matt Cardona.
I would think that would be that big challenge that Randy Orton needs, and hopefully start a program that'll last through Backlash and then heading into the summer, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and then for the rest of the year. Now, of course, there are more matches on the card. Of course, it's headlined with the main event. Cody Rhodes defending his heavyweight championship against John Cena, or the corporation's John Cena, Rock's lapdog, whatever you want to call it. That is the main event. If you want to see our predictions for that, it will be up tomorrow afternoon. You can check all of our social media. Of course, that is on Instagram, the Wrestling Revival Podcast, TikTok, TWRP_official_, and on X as well, TWRP_official. You'll see all our predictions for night 2 of Mania. And of course, right after the main event, you tune right into us right here. We will be live front and center to give our reactions to night 2 of WrestleMania, and also let you know what's in store, a possible season 4 for the Wrestling Revival Podcast. We'll let you know the exact date of when that will return. We have the exact date for you, and we'll have maybe some other goodies for you tomorrow night right here live on YouTube. So, Cyber, any final thoughts for night 1 here of Mania 41 in Sin City?
I would say this, not the worst one, but definitely not the best. There were some really good moments. I am okay with it. Night 2 has to be better. Hands down, night 2 has to be better. And to be honest, with the way the card is stacked now, this should be a better night 2 for Mania, and this could potentially save the whole weekend for them.
I would have to agree. A lot of times, if you're new to the show, this Yankee and Astro thing, we don't agree on a lot. But night 2 needs to be full on locomotive from start to finish. We do know the start of the show for night 2 will be the women's triple threat match. So hopefully that will get things going and keep the train going throughout the night. No slowdowns, no bathroom breaks needed. And hopefully it will be a good show. So yes, tomorrow night, Easter Sunday, immediately after the main event, you know, when you see the credits rolling, you see Paul Levesque's name and a few others, tune in right here to us. We have your reactions to night 2 and some other goodies for tomorrow's show here on the Wrestling Revival Podcast. This has been, you know, our night 1 recap of WrestleMania 41 from Sin City. We're going to try to get some sleep tonight, enjoy ourselves. We're going to try, and we'll be back here tomorrow night giving you our reactions to night 2 of the granddaddy of them all, which is WrestleMania. So I'm out for tonight. I'm DJ Notorious. Of course, it's Notorious Approved. That guy to the other side, that is Cyber Yeti. He's always here for the petty, as I am too. We definitely got shots for y'all if you try us, but it's another story for another day.
Yes.
We'll check y'all in about 23 and a half hours, give or take, how night 2 goes. And we'll be seeing you tomorrow night right here with night 2 recap. Have a good night.